Scale drawings. This is a digital lesson, and this is the football version. So this is a lot of fun for the students. They can scale up and scale down their drawings using the fill color feature of Google Slides. So it starts with a definition of what a scale drawing is, and then gives the students some vocabulary. So you want to go over this with the students. Starting on slide 4, they're going to be scaling up this figure by a scale factor of 2. And so what that means is that each measurement of this rectangle is going to be multiplied by 2. So in order to do this, they're going to take each measurement. If they multiply by 2 on the length, they're going to get 6. So they want to click and hold in one of the squares and just scroll across until they've highlighted 6 going across the top. And then the width would be 2 times 2 would be 4. Now that it's highlighted, they come up here to the fill color feature and they can choose any color they like. So now they've scaled up this figure by a scale factor of 2. So they want to also look and see what happens to the perimeter when they scale up. So if they count the perimeter of the smaller figure, they're going to get 10 units. If they count the perimeter of the larger figure, they're going to get 20 units. So you want to point out to the students that when you scale up by a scale factor of 2, the perimeter is also going to be multiplied by 2. The next figure is a little bit different shape. Here we have a scale factor of 3, so each of the sides is going to be multiplied by 3. So again, they just click and hold in one of the squares. They can only highlight a rectangle at a time. Fill it in with any color they choose. And here they have the completed figure, scaled up with a scale factor of 3. Again, we're going to look at the perimeter. So the perimeter of the smaller unit is going to be, the smaller figure is 10 units. If they count the perimeter of the larger figure, they're now going to get 30 units because they multiplied the perimeter by the scale factor, 10 times 3. Now they get just some different figures. So this one's a little bit difficult. You might want to go through this with the students. So they've got to multiply all of the measurements by 3. They need to be really careful on this one. Need to get one more here, one more row. And so this is what it's going to look like, scaled up by 3. Again, they look at the perimeter, and then they should be able to figure out what the perimeter of the larger figure is. Now they've got a couple sentence frames just to recap what they've just done. When the scale factor is 2, the perimeter of the new figure is 2. They're just going to type in 2 times the perimeter of the smaller figure. When the scale factor is 3, the perimeter of the new figure is 3 times the perimeter of the smaller figure, and so on. And the next slide, they have a scale factor of 1/2. So when their scale factor is a fraction less than 1, that means they're going to divide. They're going to have a smaller figure. So if the scale factor is 1/2, then each of the sides is going to be divided by 2. So here they have a length of 6. If they divide by 2, that gives them 3 going across. And this is what their figure will look like. So it's a challenge to the students, and it's fun. Just make sure they've divided all of their measurements by 2. And that's what that will look like. Now they've got a little bit different figure here. This is an arrow shape. So they've got these little bars here they're going to use to create the arrow. And it's a scale factor of 1/2, so all of the measurements are going to be divided by 2. Now obviously they can't do this one because they can't count the units, so we're going to start here on the bottom. This bottom measurement is 4. If we divide by 2, it's going to be a measurement of 2 units. So they just click and hold on the bar, and they want to move it into place. So to change this so that it's horizontal, they're going to click and hold on this blue circle and move it down here where it covers 2 units. Now this side measurement is also 4, so these measurements will now be 2 if you divide by 2. Again, they're going to move them into place. And then to make them shorter, just click and hold on that blue circle until they've covered 2 units. I have to play around with it a little bit, get it straight. Now these measurements are 2. If they divide by 2, they're going to get a measurement of 1 unit. Again, move their bars into place. Get a measurement of 1. A little bit tricky sometimes. They just have to play around with it. Now the next measurement is we want to find the tip of this arrow. So if we count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. And if we divide by 2, that will now be 4 units. So the tip of your arrow will be at 1, 2, 3, 4, will be right here. So all they have to do is connect those 2 points. And they're going to finish with the last piece here. Now they have an arrow that's scaled down by a scale factor of 1/2. The next thing we want them to look at is the area and what happens to the area when they use these scale factors. So here they're going to scale up. So this is pretty simple, scale up by a scale factor of 2. So we have a 3 by 3 square. It's now going to be 6 by 6. So it's pretty easy. By now they should be able to do this. But now we're going to look at the area. So the area of the smaller figure, 3 by 3, would be 9 square units. The area of the larger figure would be 6 by 6, which would be 36 square units. So you want to explain to the students that the difference between the 2 areas would be the scale factor squared. So 2 squared would be 4, so they just multiply the smaller area by 4 to get the larger area. So it's the scale factor squared. And they're going to do the same thing with the next figure. Now we're going to recap with the sentence frame. When the scale factor is 2, the area of the new figure is 2 to the second power, or 4 times the area of the smaller figure. When the scale factor is 3, the area of the new figure is 3 to the second power, or 9 times the area of the smaller figure, and so on. Now the final slide has sentence frames, and they're going to be moving these vocabulary words into the correct place. And this just recaps everything. It goes over the vocabulary. So blank is a drawing, so scale drawing. They just click and hold on the edge, and then they can move that into place. And then they're just going to complete all of those sentence frames. So this is a digital lesson, scale drawings. This is the football version.